Hi everyone, Claire's back and today's Monday. And on Monday I share Trim and Healthy Mama videos. Today I'm going to share with you more ideas for budget meals for Trim Healthy Mama. So stay tuned and I'm going to share them with you in just a minute. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming to my channel today. If you're new, please subscribe. I would love for you to stay and check out other videos on Trim Healthy Mama and other things that we have. A lot of unboxing videos. I have some shopping hauls, and I have a big plan of doing more homeschool videos. But if you're returning, thank you so much and welcome back. So I'm going to go right into my video, and today I'm going to give you more ideas for budget-friendly meals. I have a list here that I made last week, and I'm going to share with you a whole bunch, and the majority of them are in the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook. So if you own the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook, you're going to just write down the page number and you can go look it up. You may have already tried some of these recipes but forgotten about them, or you're currently using them to keep the budget low. All right? But what I want to ask right now is if you have any ideas for meals that are budget friendly, if you have a link to a website or to a blog that has a recipe that is low budget that you really enjoy, please share it below, because that's how we learn about different recipes and how they taste and little tweaks that you might have made to it. So share below in the comments. And if you have anything from the book that you think that I didn't mention that is great for budget friendly, please mention it below, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about shakes first. I talk about shakes a lot because I believe that they are a very low cost meal. You basically just need almond milk, right? And you need some sweetener, and you can use any plant sweetener that you use. And if you're watching this and you don't follow Trim Healthy Mama, you can still make these shakes and use the sweetener that you use. Now, we don't use a whole lot of honey on Trim Healthy Mama. So if you're not Trim Healthy Mama, if you're another diet plan, then what you could do is add like honey to it, and you could use whatever sweeteners that you use on your diet plan. All right. But the recipes basically are all going to turn out the same if you just tweak it to whatever plan that you're following. All right. So now shakes are great because you can make them dairy free. All right. Now your protein needs to come from, unless you use like a pea protein or something, or egg white protein maybe, but mostly they're going to be a whey protein powder and or cottage cheese. So if you don't want to spend the money on buying the whey protein, which I'll have a link below to the one that I buy, it's the one from Piping Rock, and as of the other day it was on sale, but this is a new week so it might not be on sale anymore. The big 2-pound container was on sale for $17.99, which normally is I think $23.99 or $22.99, something like that. So it's a big deal. So we didn't need it yet, but I asked my husband if we can buy it to keep for the future, because we use it every week, but it lasts a very long time because he and I are the only ones using it. But it was an awesome deal, the money that we saved. So anyway, okay, shakes. If you go to page, whoa, I can't read my reading. It looks like a 8. Oh, okay. If you go to page 412, you can find a recipe for a strawberry cheesecake shake. Now that is an S because you are going to be using a lot of dairy. You're going to be putting cream cheese in it, all right? That is a delicious recipe. If you're craving something sweet and you want some cheesecake, but you can't make the cheesecake because, making cheesecake takes a while, right? And you don't want to heat up your oven because it's a hot day, have a strawberry cheesecake shake. If you don't have any strawberries, you can just make a cheesecake shake. And you could take out the strawberries and just have a cheesecake shake. Or you can do peanut butter cheesecake shake. If you have peanut butter powder or the natural peanut butter, you can add that to it, And also chocolate. Or you can add chocolate to it, so it's strawberry chocolate cheesecake. That sounds yummy, doesn't it? Or caramel flavoring, the caramel extract, right? So that is a very low cost. Now you do need the cream cheese for this, all right? So there's no special ingredients in a lot of these shakes. There really isn't, because you don't have to use protein powder. You can just throw in about 1/4 cup of cottage cheese for your protein. Now there's also the banana oat shake. Now I mentioned that shake in the Trim Healthy Mama meal collab that we did with a whole bunch of Trim Healthy Mama YouTubers. So I'll have a link above to that. And that shake was amazing. When I tasted it, I was like, wow. And my kids tasted it and they liked it too. And it calls for cooked oatmeal, and I used uncooked oatmeal, and it was still good, okay? That is on page 413 of the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook, and it's really good. You got to try it, all right? And then you can have a peanut butter chocolate shake. Now, if you just get the basic recipe for a shake, like follow one of the recipes, not the big boy shake, but like like maybe the strawberry cheesecake shake would probably be a good idea. And you just take out the ingredients for, take out the bananas. I'm sorry, the strawberries. If you're doing the strawberry cheesecake, don't put strawberries in the cheesecake in it, but put in some chocolate, some cocoa powder and some peanut butter, and then just keep adding your, add a little bit because you don't want it overpowering, and change the fat content and all that stuff. Because, I mean, most likely it's going to be an S with your peanut unless you use the defatted peanut flour. But you can change that and have a chocolate peanut butter shake. Sometimes we women, we want chocolate. We want peanut butter, right? So we don't eat that Hershey bar, or we don't eat the Reese's peanut butter cups. Make a peanut butter chocolate shake, right? And then there's just your strawberry shake, which is like the strawberry big boy. All right, that's on page 414 of the cookbook. There was a whole section of shakes and fraps and stuff. And it makes a lot, and it's a fuel pull. And it makes probably 2 or 3 big cupfuls. And if you let it go longer, depending on how fluffy you want your shake, it will make even more. I don't like it too fluffy. It changes the texture of it, doesn't it? It's not so much a shake anymore, but you make it the way you like it. But the strawberry big boy smoothie is just perfect for when you want something strawberry, and it is low cost. Or you can do the choco chip one. There is one on page 421 of the cookbook, and that's really good. And if you're thinking, oh, I don't have chocolate, my bag just fell over. That totally scared me. Okay. I should have took that down. I wasn't thinking it was going to fall. I'll just leave it there. Nothing's in it's breakable. So what was I saying? Chocolate chip shake. On page 421, there is one, and it's a small single serve shake, and it makes just about 1 cup. 1 cup. I don't know if it's actually 1 cup, or because it says 1 cup. So I don't know if it's an actual measurement of a cup or it makes a cup full. I don't know what that meant. So, but you can use, if you have the Lily's chocolate chips, or if you have the Lily's chocolate bar, or if you have, a lot of ladies buy those chocolate bars, 85%, chocolate from, what's that store called? Aldi, or whatever brand that you buy, or you can make some skinny chocolate and stick it in there. And then there's just your basic chocolate one, which is you're basically going to do it the same way as your peanut butter chocolate, just don't put peanut butter in it. All right. Now, those are great for breakfast. This summer, it's going to get hot. If you live down south, it's going to get humid. If you live back east, it's going to get humid. Here in California, if you live in the desert somewhere, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, it's going to get hot. And you're going to want to shake for breakfast or for lunch or at nighttime to cool off. And these are great, low cost, budget friendly options, aren't they? I think they are. So now let's move on. Oh, wait, there was one more thing. I have a beverage that is in the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook that I think a lot of people don't think about. And that is the Slushies. Now, it is a fuel pull, and it is not a meal. It would be like a sipper type thing. Well, it's not really a sipper. It would be something you would have as a dessert to a meal, because it is a fuel pull. You can have it with any of your meal types. And they're basically not a whole bunch of carbs in them because it's a fuel pull. So you got to make sure you still got to add it to your meal, okay? Whichever one, the grapefruit one, or because the grapefruit one would be an E, but there's a strawberry one and there's a strawberry lemonade one. And you can use your flavored stevia to change the flavor also. But the lemon one's really good. And it's a perfect slushie. So if you got that Ninja or the Vitamix, it's great to make it in that. But the slushies, they're on page 372. And they offer a few recipes, different flavor options in the cookbook. But you can just explore, and just don't forget, whatever you add to it, you got to still count the carbs and the fats in it. If you add something fatty, like if you added, I don't know, chocolate would be good. My kids had a chocolate slushie at Sonic a couple months ago, and they said it was actually good. So who knows? But you could try something like that and see how it's just ice. You're not really wasting a whole lot of ingredients. But for this summer, you can make a whole bunch of them. You can treat your kids with them because they're delicious. They really, and they're cooling because it's all ice, and it's great for a hot day. So don't forget about the slushies on page 372. Try that. All right, now let's move on to breakfasts. Breakfast, I think, is probably one of the easiest meals to make budget friendly, because you can have oatmeal for breakfast, like I mentioned last week, and you can have a shake for breakfast. But if you don't want oatmeal, if you're tired of it, or if you want something besides a shake, want something, like you sink your teeth into type of meal, you can make an egg casserole and cut it up into slices to last you the week. You could freeze it if you need a breakfast on the go to take to work with you. Put it in your Ziploc baggies, your Tupperware, whatever it is that you use. And there is one on page 238 in the cookbook. All right, I'll show you the cookbook again. There it is. And I'll have a link below to Amazon, which is, yes, it is an affiliate link to the cookbook in case you don't have the cookbook yet. But the egg casserole, that just gives you a basic recipe to follow. You don't have to put in all the ingredients that they put in because they do put a whole lot in. But it makes it more filling and it makes it more delicious, adding all that stuff. But just make sure you add some veggies to it, all right? And then there's also the egg cups, which I call the mufflets, I think is what they call it in the cookbook, mufflets. So you can make those. It's just scrambled eggs inside your muffin tins with different toppings that you would put in your scrambled eggs. Same thing that you would make your egg casserole, right? That's really good. You can also line it with a strip of bacon and then put it in, and then the egg would cook inside the bacon, and the bacon would be like a muffin paper for it. That's really good. All right, now 2 recipes for muffins that are in the cookbook. Now they might not be entirely super low budget friendly, but they are more budget friendly than some of the other ideas that you might have, because there's the chocolate banana muffins on page 283 and then the peach muffins that are on page 286. They're both E's. If you need an E option and you're tired of eating oatmeal for breakfast, these are great because you can make a whole tray of muffins. You make like 12 to 18 muffins and you have them for a sweet treat during the week. If you need something sweet, you want something chocolatey, chocolate banana. And then the peach muffins, I make these a lot. And I do have a video, I'll have the iCard above for this, because I do make them a lot and they are really, really good. And I've always managed to get more than what the recipe says. In my video, I think I made like 18. I think the recipe calls for 12 or something like that. I made extra and my muffin cups are full. You can see in the video. So those, they're made with egg whites. You can either buy the carton, which is pure egg whites, or you can just separate your eggs, whichever works for you. If you get those eggs for a deal at Aldi, that'd be great. Probably be cheaper than doing it buying the egg carton of eggs. So those are just a couple breakfasts. It's not a whole lot of options, but it's a few, right? And the egg casserole, what they are, all 4 of those suggestions are meals that you can make ahead and divide up. Like one day you can have the muffin, the next day you can have the egg cups, and muffin, egg cup, muffin, egg cups. So if whatever day you have a kitchen day of cooking or a freezer cooking day, you can go ahead and make these things and then you'll have them for breakfast for the week, right? So I'm going to quick go through this because I'm getting long-winded here, I think. There are some snacks, and they're sweet snacks that you can make. Now, we all love the cottage berry whip. If you haven't tried the cottage berry whip, you must try the cottage berry whip. It's a fuel pull, and it's on page 374. But there's the fudgy no-bake cookies. Those are fantastic. Those are on page 316. And then the Cry No More brownies. There's no special ingredients in the Cry No More brownies. You can make your own baking blend. Did you guys know that? Everybody has their own recipe for it. What I use is 1/3 cup of coconut flour, 1/3 cup of flax, and 1/3 cup of almond to equal 1 cup of the baking powder. That's what I use, and none of my recipes has ever failed. Now, it's not exact like the Trim Healthy Mom. They put glucine in it and oat fiber and there's a lot of websites, bloggers that add all that stuff to it. I'm fine with what I have because this is my budget-friendly way of making it, and it works for me. So then there's the Cry No More brownies. Yep. All you need for that is the Cry No More brownies. The secret ingredient is okra, frozen okra. And like if you grow your own, you could freeze it. So there you go for that one. And then you need like a whole package of the baker's chocolate. But I've noticed it out here in California, that costs less than it did back in New York. And then there's a peanut butter fudge cake. This cake makes a whole 9x13 pan, and I make it a lot. Now, not like every other week, but probably every 3 or 4 months I make this, and my children ask for it. Jennifer Griffin, A Home with Purpose, it's on her site, so I'll have the link below to that, and it's really good. And I don't think you really need any special ingredients for that one either. I'm not positive, but I'm like 90% sure that you don't. But it's really good. The frosting is like a fudge on top. She says in her recipe you can make just the frosting and eat it like a fudge. All right, then there's these chocolate cupcakes. I have also made those. They are made with coconut flour. So if you want to have a chocolate cupcake and all you have is coconut flour, I think it's like 1/4 cup of coconut flour makes like nine of these cupcakes. It's fabulous. I'll have a link below to that. And yes, I made a video also of that one. And then there's a peanut butter cheesecake. I made this and non-Trim Healthy Mama sugar eaters loved it. It's a no-bake cheesecake and it is so amazing. I have not made it, I think, since we've moved to California, and I really need to make it. And I'll have a link below to that one. That one's not in the cookbook. And there's no special ingredients. It's just cheesecake and whipping cream whipped together and peanut butter. That's all it is. And now in the recipe, they do drizzle, like you can drizzle skinny chocolate on top and make it all pretty. And then there's just your basic cheesecake. That's on page 332 if you follow their recipe. But I usually don't put in the chocolate and the strawberries because I think it's some sort of like wedding cheesecake or something like that is what they call it. And I just make a basic cheesecake and it always is a hit. All right, so those are your sweets. And like if you made the cheesecake and if you can keep your family from eating it, you can eat that for breakfast with a cup of coffee. Doesn't that sound awesome? See, I want to make cheesecake so bad so I can eat it for breakfast. Yeah. So dinners. I have a couple dinners and then I'll be done. Okay. I have a deep dish pizza. Not sure if I've ever mentioned this recipe before. I will have a link below. It is not in the cookbook and I don't know whose site it's from, but I have the recipe printed out in my Trim Healthy Mama binder and it is a hit with our family. And it is really no special ingredients because I don't consider almond flour a special ingredient anymore because it's so plentiful in all the stores that like in my store at Winco, I can buy it in bulk. If I only need a half a cup, I can measure out a half a cup and only get that much type of thing. So, but it is really good. You can put in pizza toppings. Any sort of thing that you would put on pizza is what you can put inside of this. And then there's the Bangin' Ranch drums in the cookbook. They are amazing. We just made those again a couple weeks ago. They're so good. And they are a budget-friendly meal because I bought my chicken drumsticks on clearance and I got $2 off each container. I'll have a link above or below to the video. And they're really, really good. And you could probably grill them if you'd rather grill food. You could probably grill them too. Then there's burrito bowls. Now, they're not in the cookbook, a burrito bowl. But think about if you were to go to Chipotle and get a burrito bowl, make it at home. You can have salsa. You can make your salsa. You get some brown rice. You can do shredded chicken and all the toppings that you want and just put it in a bowl and you have a burrito bowl. And if you don't want the rice and you want it to keep it an S or a fuel pull, then just don't use the rice. But it's a great E. And then the last couple are taco salad, which is just like the taco salad is like a burrito bowl in a way, right? You get a burrito bowl or a taco salad and you could, if you want to eat it in a bowl, you can get a bigger bowl, soup bowl, or on a big plate. You could have those, now Trader Joe's doesn't make the baked blue tortilla chips anymore. So if you can find them in your stores, a different brand, then go ahead and get those. But I usually do my taco salad without chips. Now I know that Tostitos, I asked in the Trim Healthy Mama Facebook groups a couple months ago about a new tortilla chip because Trader Joe's doesn't make theirs anymore. And I had always bought theirs because I never found any other brand in my store. And so, because Sprouts doesn't have any, Winco doesn't have any, and Whole Foods is really, it's way over in a different city. I have to go over the mountain to the hill, whatever it's called, to go there, and I'm never over in that area. But Tostitos makes a baked one, and I ordered them online from Walmart. They didn't have them in store, but I ordered them online with some other things. I threw them in my cart. So I haven't been eating those, and it's nice to have something salty and crunchy. But you can always have a taco salad without the chips. You don't need to have the chips. Or you can make some chips out of the Mission tortilla chips, right? You just cut them up and then bake them. So those are my suggestions for dinner. And I have one more in the cookbook. Now, I'm not too sure how budget-friendly this one is. If you have a couple extra dollars, because you got to buy a can of coconut milk. It's the curry coconut or the Thai coconut chicken. I don't remember what it's called. It's on page 45. I didn't write down the right name. I called it peanut butter curry coconut chicken is what I called it because there is a can of coconut milk in it and it's cooked in the slow cooker. When I made it, I did not put it in the slow cooker because I forgot to add it to the slow cooker, so I just made it in my big pot and it turned out just fine. It was delicious. I really need to make this meal again. But you put some green curry because you have to buy the curry paste is what I use. I bought the green one and it was really yummy. But you add peanut butter flour to it, powder, or real peanut butter to it to give that taste. And my children liked it. So it is a lower cost meal, but it's not an extremely budget friendly meal because you do have to buy the coconut milk, which, you know, you can get at Dollar Tree and stuff for $1.99 store, and everywhere else sells it basically for $1. But there is the curry paste that you put in there. So if you have curry powder, you could probably try that. It probably will work just as fine, but I didn't have any curry powder. So I bought this, and I'm glad I did because then I know I have it for the future times. And I think it was like $3, $3.50, something like that at Winco. So you just get this little jar of it, but you know, in the long run, I think it was worth it for us because I'm going to be making again because it turned out so good. And I believe that is an S. I turned it into a crossover because we put it with rice and I wasn't thinking. So we just had it that way. But I'm sure you could tweak it if you bought some sort of fat-free coconut. Do they even sell that? I should look to see because that would be really good if I could get that to be more fat-free. But sometimes they add ingredients to make things fat-free, and I don't always buy fat-free things. Check out the ingredients list. Look at a thing that's full fat. Look at the same thing that's fat-free. The list is huge on the fat-free one of all these stuff they had to add to it because they had to take out all the flavor to get the fat out. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. So anyway, those are my ideas. The coconut chicken is on page 45, if I didn't mention that. And I really like that meal. And I think I'm going to be making that again because that sounds really good. Now I want that for dinner. I'll make that next week, I think. Yes, I will. Okay. Anyway, so those are just a few budget-friendly meal ideas from the cookbook. Now, if you go back to last week's video, I have links to about 3 or 4 bloggers, Trim Healthy Mama bloggers, that have a whole list on their site and with links and everything to the recipes of budget-friendly ideas. Now, there also is one, if you go to Working at Homeschool, I believe she has a dairy-free option if you need dairy-free and gluten-free. So, but Pinterest is your best place to go if you need. You just type in Trim Healthy Mama budget-friendly meals and you're going to have a bazillion pop-up. Oh, let's knock that over. Bazillion pop-up, okay? So I hope this video was helpful to you on this Trim Healthy Mama Monday. It's given me some ideas of things that I need to start making to keep my budget lower. But I hope it was helpful to you. And go ahead and talk in the comments below about what meals are good budget-friendly meals for you when the money is tight, and what you substitute in a lot of recipes that, like a special ingredient, what do you substitute the special ingredients for to make it budget-friendly? I love learning from each other and finding out what recipes and snacks and meals and breakfast and stuff are more budget-friendly and the tweaks you can make it to make it more low cost. So go ahead and like this video, give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. I would love to have you here. And when I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to have a giveaway. So as soon as that comes, it's slowly coming. I'm just around 400. Next week, I have, what do I have for next week? I already made my list for what I'm doing next week. If I can turn the page. I can't turn the page. Oh, yes. We're going to talk about grace. Giving yourself grace on Trim Healthy Mama next week. We mamas need grace in all areas of our life. But I'm going to be talking about how we can give ourselves some grace in our Trim Healthy Mama lifestyle. All right? So come back next week for that. And stay tuned for other videos throughout the week. I have some homeschool videos coming out this week that I hope that you will enjoy if you are homeschoolers. And if not, just come and watch. All right? So thank you so much and be a blessing.